If you're watching right now, know that it can be challenging to sit down and do homework with your kids, especially when it comes to keeping them interested and engaged in the tougher subjects like math. Yes, math, my favorite subject. Well, we have perhaps a solution for you, some help for you. Our next guests joining me now are from the Seriously Addictive Math, Julia Yagliglou and Erminio Zapatelli. Thank you guys so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Tell me first of all, Erminio, what is Seriously Addictive Math?
So S.A.M, Seriously Addictive Math, is an enrichment program that teaches Singapore math to children ages 4 to 12.
Okay, so you said Singapore math and everyone's like, what is that? So what is Singapore math?
So basically Singapore math is the math that is taught in Singapore.
Okay.
It's their curriculum. It's as simple as that. They turned it into a worksheet model, and we've packaged it as a franchise concept here in Canada.
And how does it differ from the math that we have here in Quebec and in Canada? Julia?
Essentially, the topics are the same. They're parallel, they're consistent. However, the method by which they teach the topics are very different, very unique to the Singapore method. And in Singapore, problem solving is the core of their curriculum. So essentially, we teach logical thinking and logical reasoning and critical thinking to help when they need to problem solve in the classroom. And our mission is to make math relatable for them and meaningful so that they can relate it to their everyday life.
You were a teacher in the public system for a few years before now you're dedicating yourself full-time to this. Did you see that as an issue in the classroom? Were children not engaged in math?
It was essentially the more challenging subject to engage the kids, and everybody in the classroom has a different learning style, which was hard to cater to. So this program is very, very visual, and when I saw it being presented to me, I said, wow, like all the kids who, whether they have trouble in math or they don't, it just, the way they present the material is just, it's so clear when they do it in a visual way.
Was it possible to give a short example of something that would be different from what you see in the classroom?
Well, go ahead.
Essentially, in the older grades, what we do is there's the technique of the bar modeling method, which takes very complex word problems and it transfers the words in the problem into an actual image, into a picture. And they use these bar modeling methods when they deal with more complex problems. And here, if we were to use those complex problems, we would necessarily use algebra. So they teach the problem without introducing algebra at a younger age.
Oh, very interesting. And Singapore math. So, Erminio, this is a new concept to Canada, and now you have opened the first S.A.M Learning Center on Décarie Corner, Plamondon. So, was there sort of a demand for this? I mean, what made you think to do this?
There's a huge demand in tutorial services overall around North America. There's more and more demand. I think the education system is being stretched. It's becoming much more competitive overall in the world, and so a lot of parents are investing in their children. Singapore math, we teach from ages 4 to 12. So for us, it's an investment in younger ages because the foundation of math is actually learned at a very young age. So the problems could be avoided later on in life. Instead of throwing money to the tutorials, to tutoring later on, we think that it's a very good investment for children to learn at a young age. And Singapore math really engages children and gives them a good foundation of the basics of math.
And that's the key, right? It's making it fun, making it relatable, because I'm sure parents saying, okay, we're going to go do more math now on the weekend, you know, it has to be something there that attracts them.
Well, our center it's a small, a very engaging environment. The maximum class size is 8. Most enrichment centers grow to more than 8. So it's not one-on-one tutoring, but it's also from an enrichment program perspective, it's a very small classroom environment. So sometimes Julia has maybe 1 student in a class or 2 students. So it is one-on-one interaction. But the key is really the interactivity between the child, engaging the child to work with their hands and really understand the mathematics
it's a very interesting concept indeed. Thank you so much, Erminio and Julia, for coming in this morning and sharing this with us.